Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Elite Wrestling World. I am your host GhostSaad. Thank you guys for joining me right here for AEW WrestleDream post-show review. What an excellent pay-per-view we have. I think we saw great matches, great storytelling, and AEW always delivers on pay-per-views, and St. Louis crowd just showed that this city is very hungry of pay-per-views, and I think the atmosphere was very good. So let's talk about the pay-per-view. So we started off with a match already in progress. FTR, Jet Speed, they are feuding on Collision, and both teams look great in the match, and I think this feud will continue, and FTR gets the win by Stokely cheating. So I think this feud will continue, and both teams looked very strong, and we get an unusual start of the pay-per-view, but this was a very good tag team match, and FTR wins by Stokely cheating. So next is the first match of the pay-per-view. Main card is Jamie Hayter versus Thekla. I think Thekla looks amazing. Jamie Hayter looks amazing. We are building towards women's blood and guts, so that was a very good match to set up that blood and guts match. Both ladies looked very good. Jamie Hayter needed that win, so I think that was a very good result for Jamie to get a win in this match. But overall, I think both ladies looked strong. Post match, Triangle of Madness attacked, Queen Aminata comes out. So I think this will continue to bleed into the women's tag team titles tournament and also towards blood and guts as well. So after that, we got Young Bucks and Jurassic Express 500k match. I think this was a very good tag team match. Young Bucks entrance was a very good thing. Zero balance and all the stuff and all the expenses sheet. So this Brock Bucks character is very interesting to see on AEW television. So I think that was a very good entrance. Jurassic Express looks great after tagging a very long time. They both look very good as a tag team. Young Bucks, as we know, always delivers on tag team matches, so I think that was a very good tag team match, and we got the right winner. Jurassic Express won, so this will continue further, and Brock Bucks character will continue as well. And in the post match, we saw Don Callis family attacking Jurassic Express, Kenny Omega coming out and helping Jurassic Express as well. So I think Omega Bucks, they are slowly starting to get them back, the elite, and I think this story will continue further. So very good tag team match. Next up, we got the trios tornado match between Hurt Syndicate and the Demand, and this one has got the stipulation that whoever won this match will get the number one contendership for the trios title. So again, this feud is continuing for I think from before All Out. So this was the third match in the trilogy, and both teams look very strong. GOA got the win last week on television against the Hurt Syndicate. That was a very good win for GOA because Hurt Syndicate got pinned for the first time in AEW, so that was very good. And I think Ricochet is very the character of Ricochet is very good, and he is working very well with this character. So I think I should have gone with the Demand, but Hurt Syndicate won the match, won the trilogy, so they are getting a trios title shot on Dynamite as well. So I think this feud is very good, but I think we should have got the Demand winning, but Hurt Syndicate won, and I think that was a very good result. Next up is Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher, match number 5 for the TNT Championship. I think Protostad is slowly building towards the main eventer, and he looked very good. Mark Briscoe, as you know, a kind character, and he is very good in these kind of matches. Babyface, uh, coming from the low and getting the title. Some have thought that Mark Briscoe should win the title, but I think that is not the case at this moment, as Kyle Fletcher is having a very good run with the TNT Championship, and both guys look strong. They always have a great chemistry. They worked really well with each other. So I think Kyle Fletcher is still the TNT Championship. I think that he will not lose because AEW have an event in Australia in February of 2026. So I think he will be champion until that. So that was a very good match between Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. Obviously, Kyle Fletcher retained the TNT Championship. So next is the women's championship match. Kris Statlander, Toni Storm. Both ladies worked really well with each other. They have a great chemistry. I think Toni Storm has worked enough to put over Kris Statlander in this match, and the character of Toni Storm is slowly going towards another direction, like he is losing it all and what he's gonna do. So that was a very interesting thing to see. Kris Statlander always looks great. She is a very good professional wrestler, and I think that was the passing of the torch from Toni Storm to Kris Statlander, and match was very good. The chemistry was great. Kris Statlander beat Toni Storm clean in the middle of the ring, and Toni Storm just raised her hand, and that was the passing of the torch. But Mercedes comes out, outstage Kris Statlander, and told him to get out of her ring. So that was a tease of the next program that might Kris Statlander have. And Mina Shirakawa answers that challenge, and they got a match. And so Ring of Honor Women's TV title interim is also on the line in this match. So I think both ladies look great, but that was a very good match. So Mina looked great in this match, but as we know, when the match started, this is gonna be ending in only one way, and that is Mercedes winning, and that what happened. And Mercedes is now 11 belts Mone, and the run continues. And after the match, Kris Statlander comes out and upstaging Mercedes Mone, getting the revenge from her that she did previously, and she wanted to attack Mercedes with his finishing move, but Mercedes just rolls out of the ring, and that was the segment and the tease towards the championship match at full gear. So next up is Brodido versus Okada and Takeshita tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship. I thought this is gonna take a hell lot of to top what Young Bucks and Jurassic Express did earlier, but this was the best tag team match of the night. I think both teams delivered it perfectly. From the Bad Blood finally coming to a head with Okada and Takeshita, and story continues of their dissension. As you know, Konosuke Takeshita won the IWGP Championship last week, so he's looking very good as well with that. And from the Bad Blood finally coming ahead with Okada accidentally hitting a rainmaker on Takeshita to King's constant engagement to Brodido. And Macarena they did. Brody King did that previously, but he did in this match. And we saw Bandito pinning Okada in this match to retain their titles. I think that was a very shocking moment for me, that Okada getting pinned, because Takeshita is a WGP champion, Okada is unified champion, so they thought Okada should get the win instead of the new IWGP champion. So I think that is a good decision. And now Bandito is getting a unified title shot at Dynamite as well. Next up is Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Title match. This felt like one of those hard-hitting Joe Ring of Honor World Title matches that we saw in 2003 and 4. These two beat the living crap out of each other, and it took everything that Page had to put Joe down. I think Page looked great, Joe looked fantastic. Page started fading, but there was still fight, getting the rope break when he was in the coquina clutch. Page escaped a muscle buster and spiked Joe with a dead eye for the closest near fall of the match. Page went to the apron, hit one buckshot lariat. Joe didn't go down, hit a second buckshot lariat. Joe didn't go down, threw one final buckshot lariat, and Joe crumbled, and Page got the victory. So again, very good, hard-hitting match. And Hangman retains. So post-match, Shibata Hobbs came to the ring to tend to Joe as crowd chanting for Joe. Hobbs and Shibata started. Uh, Page and Joe shook hand as Joe raised Page's hand and boom, leveled him with a clothesline. Hobbs and Shibata started putting boots to Page, and Joe cracked him in the head with the world title. Hobbs and Shibata set Page up in the corner, and Joe hit a muscle buster. So Opps are finally turned heel, and this story will continue. I think we will get another match out of this, and I think we will get a stipulation match. So I think that's a very good closing moment of this match. And in the main event, we saw Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in an I Quit match. So it takes an awful lot of pro wrestling fans in 2025 to chant things like "This is murder" and "What the fuck is that?" But the moments in this were certainly made those valid. I will say the blood was kept to a minimum, and that was a very rare thing for Jon Moxley, not bleeding buckets, as these two were incredibly creative in terms of holy shit spots. I think this was due to the St. Louis restrictions, so they have to just narrow it down, the blood sports and all the stuff as well. The Traders just blasting Darby Allin. Claudio doing his old work, throwing Darby Allin in from the ring to the announce desk. That was very brutal, I think, and he just made this move very brutal. Yuta and Garcia sprinted out, sprayed with lighter fluid as well. So the distraction allowed Moxley to hit a cutter, and then Moxley went to Allen's bag of tricks and pulled out a stun gun. Allen fought it out. So then he just brought out a fish pond and tried to drown Darby Allin. I think I never saw that one coming. So that was very creative of them. And every time Moxley pulls Allin out of the water, Allin refuses to quit. And the crowd chanted, "This is fucked up," until the lights go out. They came back on, and Grandpa Sting is in the ring with his white beard and all the stuff. He looked fantastic. And standing behind Moxley with a baseball bat. Moxley gets choked out by the bat as Sting starts beating the hell out of Death Riders with the bat and shattered the aquarium. Moxley is shocked as Sting tosses the bat to Allin. Sting went to leave Shafir, got in his face and started talking trash when Sting put her over his shoulder and took her out. So Moxley stood in the middle of the ring alone. Bad Show stood a rib and legs before wrapping the AEW flag around Moxley's throat and hitting the Scorpion Death Drop. Coffin drop off the top of the ring as Scorpion Deathlock was applied and Moxley finally quits. So that was one insane main event match. Allin raises the AEW flag high and he clutched it to end the show. So that was very good way to close out the show, and this match is the right match to close out the show because the story behind that is last year when Moxley won the title and this year this happened. So I think that will start the dissension of the Death Riders. I think this story will be very interesting to see how John Moxley reacts after this loss and how the Death Riders react after this loss. So that was the post-show review for WrestleDream. Please guys, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel and keep watching Elite Wrestling World.